we are ready to go. Hello everybody and welcome to today's stream, where today it's, in terms of a match, this is, you can't get much bigger than this. It is of course the grand final rematch, some would say, between the Penrith Panthers playing away down to Melbourne to take on the Storm. Now this is going to be an emphatic, exciting match, to say at the very least. Like, we honestly could have no idea what would end up happening here. Obviously, the Storm coming off a bye last week, so they were pretty chill, if anything. Like, they were very chill. They were a bit nonchalant. But then, obviously, the Penrith Panthers coming off a very interesting game where they, unfortunately for them, with a massive upset loss over the Sydney Roosters, has now put a bit of questions over the team. But this should be a battle where both teams are going to be up for it. This is going to be an absolute barnstormer of a match. You hope so, or you're just going to be monstrously disappointed. Like, in all seriousness. Okay, so just having to check there of the audio, because we are a bit of an open room where there is quite a substantial echo. But luckily the mic doesn't seem to be picking up the echo at all, so that is really good. Everything looks like it's running smoothly, which is good. But yeah, how are we all going? This is honestly going to be quite an interesting game, but as we get ready for it, we are going to just transition quickly and go through the teams. Now, this is going to be a lot of questions about who. There's a lot of changes has essentially have happened in recent weeks and days. So let's have a look. So, starting off at fullbacks, we have Ryan Papenhuyzen for Melbourne and Thomas Jenkins for the Panthers. Dylan Edwards was ruled out earlier from the match. Then you had Dane Laurie, who was initially going to come in for the Panthers, but then it was officially announced, and I've just realised that the sizing doesn't work, so I'm going to drag that in just a little bit slightly so both players can fit in. There you go. And we'll just drag this off to the side. That's brilliant. But yeah, Thomas Jenkins now comes in, first match back for Penrith after just, I guess in just a way, just randomly leaving the Knights. It was a really weird situation, but yeah. Now going into the wings pairing, you've got Grant Anderson back in the side with Xavier Coates on the wing, with Jack Howarth and Nick Meaney in the centres. And for Penrith, you've got Casey McLean and Brian Tyler on the wing, with Isaac Targo and Paul Alamotti in the centres. Playmakers for today's match is Cameron Muster and Jerome Hughes for the Storm. And for the Penrith Panthers, it is Jack Cole and Nathan Cleary. Going into the forward pack now for the Storm, you've got Stefano Utakamanu, Harry Grant and Josh King as the prop. Josh King, the Novocastrian. And you've got Moses Leota, Mitch Kenny and Lindsay Smith for the Panthers. Going into now the back row, and you've got Sean Bloor, Elisa Katoa at second row, with Trent Lorio at lock for the Storm. And then for the Panthers, you've got Scott Sorensen, Liam Martin in the second row, with Isaiah Yeo at lock. And going to the bench, where there's going to be a lot of interesting stories. You've got Tyron Wishart, Alec McDonald, Tui Kimikamika, and Nelson Asofa Solomona, who is announced to be returning for this match. This is going to be interesting to go. He's been recently suffering a 5-match suspension, and he will take on the substitute bench of Isaiah Papali'i, Liam Henry, Luke Garner, and Blaze Talagi. And the injured replacement is Kane Bradley for the Storm and Brad Schneider for the Panthers. So this, really interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how this does end up playing up, because it's honestly going to be quite an, I guess in a way, an interesting matchup here. So now going into the pre-match poll, as we're saying, of who wins the grand final rematch, and the Storm currently has 1 vote. So currently they are winning in this. Of course, currently leading the ladder tonight. But it could be a bit of a change depending on what happens by the end of the round. So, yeah, honestly, who knows? It just could be a very interesting situation, to say the very least. I need to stop saying situation, because I say that a lot on here. But yeah, now we're going to go into the transitioning. Oh, close. We're going to look at, this is the Zutang proposed multi, We have Xavier Coates, anytime try scorer. Melbourne Storm 13+, which just with the amount of outs that Penrith do have, I feel like this is going to be a match where the Storm could really come into play. But then again, it can be really close because that's usually how these clashes usually go. You've got Casey McLean scoring for the Panthers, and you've got Grant Anderson marking his return, the Central Newcastle boy. Butcher Boy is essentially, that's the club. And I've got him to score 2 or more tries. That odds about $34, so yeah, if you do want to go on that, that's whatever. You gotta go big. You can't just like randomly just like, you can't whack like $500 on like $2 odds and be like labeled as like a genius gambler. Like, like genuinely like. But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting to see. Now, looking into where the potential battles could end up for this matchup, as I just get onto the correct screen here, is I definitely feel the Battle of the Wings is going to be quite interesting. Obviously, you've got Xavier Coates and Grant Anderson in for the match. Grant Anderson has played like sporadically over the last couple of years for the Storm, but usually when he plays, he does score, so he's a pretty decently quick player. Xavier Coates, one of arguably the best winger currently in the comp. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but it probably is. Brian Toto, I mean, it was until last week against the Roosters when Brian Toto scores, the Panthers usually win. So yeah, just like that. There you got Casey McLean coming in. It's going to be good to see more like young players breaking into the side. Playmakers is going to be quite interesting. Looking to see more confidence here with Jack Cole as well as Nathan Cleary. And then you've got, obviously, Cameron Munster and Jerome Hughes. I'd probably say in terms of like power rankings for like the forwards into the playmakers, I believe they should be quite high up. I think you can make the argument they're like number one, in all honesty, of possible playmakers. So it just really depends on like a lot of factors, really, when it comes to the playmaker role, because I feel like this could very much be a defensive match, which usually, like, when it comes to like these types of clashes, it is usually low scoring, but I do feel like a low scoring match would favour the Storm heavily. No, sorry, I think a low scoring match would favour Penrith more than a big blowout, because if that's the case, I just feel like the Storm are going to be the more likely to get the job done. So yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting match up to see what does end up happening. If anybody has any predictions, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, it'll be just quite to see how everyone thinks everything will play out. Currently, in terms of the betting odds, the Storm are $1.33 to the Panthers, $3.34, which I have to feel is like one of the pricier odds for Penrith winning a game in a considerate while. And it would have to be, this would be like you could probably expect saying like, oh, if they played the Storm and like most of the team would be out due to obviously for Origin. But yeah, it's quite an interesting development there, as you see. I just realised the colours are playing up. It's because I had the thing. Yeah, that makes sense completely. 100% honesty. But yeah, this is going to be an emphatic match, as obviously we're just looking at the... They're currently just showing highlights of the 2024 NRL Grand Final, which in complete honesty, I don't think I even watched that match at all. To be completely honest, I don't think I did. I just say, yeah, Penrith won. But yeah, it's basically just Penrith now. This, I think, is going to be a really big test for the Panthers, this match. I mean, in complete honesty, because like they have to pretty much switch on here, because they obviously have the doubts from their match last week from the match last week against the Roosters, and it's just they need to just be able to just quickly get involved and like be properly brought into this game, because this could be a bit of a measuring stick to see, are Penrith still the all-conquering team that they are, and is it the Storm that are going to replace them in that? Because you just don't know. No, there you go. But yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting play. I should just mark that down there because they won't be seeing any of the chat. But yeah, it could just be a possibility where, we have now got a vote in the poll. It's now split heavily down the middle with a 50-50 now for this matchup. It's going to be hard to tell how this match will end up playing out. But yeah, I definitely can back Penrith being able to take this game out. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you don't really know what could end up happening. But yeah, I just don't know. It's like a lot of stuff could genuinely happen this game. Like this, I generally do feel like but yeah, Jenkins coming in, that whole thing was a situation, because obviously as a Knights fan, we signed Jenkins from Penrith in 2023, and then we just sort of played him maybe a couple times. It was kind of like I'm trying to think of the bloke. It was Jed Cartwright. Like we signed him and then barely played him, and then like after like a year we just let him go. It's just was one of those weird sort of situations, and it's like but yeah, we just do not know. But basically, we don't know what will end up happening. But looking back into this bet, for this, it's like, I mean, this does heavily bank on Penrith being shut out of this game, essentially, because I feel like a fair amount of games, despite like a couple, have all been like relatively low scoring. So in terms of like getting like, multiple try multis and that, it's been somewhat difficult. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think Storm 13... I think Storm 13 plus, I am going to still very much back it, but it's just, you don't really know. Like, it could be like, I mean, Penrith, like, for example, last week had like one of their worst, people calling it like one of their worst performances, but they still scored like 32 points in the match. Like, again, that's still like rather impressive, to say the very least. Like, but you just don't really know about how this could end up playing out. But yeah, it's going to be... You got Casey McLean there. I feel like he could get a try. Might dart the ball over to him there. And then you've got Grant Anderson, who... To be fair, it is like Novocastrian bias, because Grant Anderson is from Newcastle and really shows about the Knights' like recruiting system. You're having like, an entire region... for their talent, obviously playing for Central Newcastle in the Newcastle competition, and then got picked up by Melbourne. And Knights weren't interested. I love that as a Knights fan. I really love that. But yeah, it's you also got Josh King as well, who is also from Newcastle, who's in the forward pack for the Storm. I don't think there's any Newcastle blokes from in the Penrith side. I don't think so. There might be like some from the Hunter maybe, but if anybody could have a consensus on that, please let me know. But yeah, this is going to be one match. So hello to everybody if anyone is coming in, but this is pretty much the bit where I just waffle for about half an hour. And we've got about 15 minutes before the start of the match, so it's just essentially me just filling up time and not being prepared. But yeah, so yeah, I guess we could just keep looking at the team list. It's like, ooh, Storm $1.33, and it's like, but yeah, Will Warbrick being out, going in for Grant Anderson, that's just, It's going to be exciting to see. Looking into the forward pack, I feel like Leota and I think Yo and Martin for the forward pack is going to be like very important for them to get the job done if the Panthers are to go on to win this matchup. For the Storm, I think in terms of for their forward pack, I mean, you got Harry Grant, and you also got two pretty decent prop options in Stefano Watakamanu and Josh King. I think the players coming onto the bench is going to be quite interesting. Obviously, Nelson Asofa Solomona back after a 5-match suspension. And I've just looked at his profile picture. I'm clicking on that. Just bear in mind with me for a quick second. And if only I kept the mustache, but we actually look rather similar. Like, if I did actually have his mustache, I'm basically a Sofa Solomona. Look at that. Like, it's just something like that. If I kept the mustache, that's pretty much what I, to an extent, look like. So, yeah. Okay, we'll just click on there, and we'll just bring it back to the there. But I feel like the bench is going to be very important in this match. But I feel like it's pretty even between both sides. I mean, you've got like Tyron Wishart who can come into your backs, but you've also got like Luke Garner, Isaiah Papali'i, and Blaise Talaga. He can really come in for Penrith if they are struggling on attack. So yeah, this is really going to be interesting to see how this match does end up playing out. I feel like for the Storm, they need to start hard really quickly, put Penrith in a position where their foot's on their throat and just not let go. Or if anything, push a lot more harder. So yeah, it could be something along those lines, essentially. But yeah, this is going to be one of the. It's a game of 2 hours. But yeah, I'm just not too familiarly sure. And it's just you can't really tell in terms of the other matches. It's like so if we go towards the if we go quickly towards the ladder, as we're just going to just quickly refresh and go into from here, we can pretty much kind of see where both teams will end up happening. I'm just going to whack ourselves right into the middle, as we just saw one of the camera load-ups. But yeah, so essentially, in terms of a customizing of a prediction, let's actually go into the ladder predictor. So this could kind of illustrate what we could end up seeing happening for this matchup. So basically now so for tonight's match, so if I have what my prediction is, I'm going to move this just quickly off to the side. So if we have what I think will end up happening, and say, which my prediction was, I believe it was the Storm by, say, about 12 points, the Storm will immediately go themselves into top place. I mean, they kind of already are automatically, but they've got, after 2 matches, they'll have 6 points and have a difference of 50. This would send the Panthers down to 11th, just below the New Zealand Warriors. However, a big win, if we're talking a big win, I believe we'll need to go into the 30s for Penrith to drop even further, to go automatically down to 12th, to go below the Roosters. But I feel like for the Panthers, a close win here will make them jump into 4th place and will send the Storm down to 6th. So this will be the parity restored here for the Panthers if it does end up going this way. So a lot can happen in this matchup. So it'll be interesting and cool to see what does end up happening. Because I mean, you can't really tell at all from this game. So you just gotta have hope, I guess, if you're for either side. But I mean, I do think that on paper, this could be a game where the Storm kind of set themselves up to being the top team in the NRL for this year, especially at this early stage. So yeah, essentially, I feel like the pressure will be on the Panthers for this game more so than the Storm, because this is where Penrith are going to have to answer some questions especially after their loss last week to the Roosters. So yeah, this is going to be this is going to be a bit mental to think about here. But you can't really think in terms of this match because, like, usually it's like, I think if anything, in terms of these like big sort of matches, they always under-deliver, especially when it comes to like, you know, grand final rematches like this match is. It's just, it's like everybody like thinks, oh, it's like, to be fair, it's kind of like a derby. Like, rarely do these types of matches actually like fully 100% live up to the hype that they get brought in. Usually it's most of the time it's like the first half can be quite boring, but the second half is where it starts picking up and you get the atmosphere and intensity. I feel this will be quite interesting to see. Obviously this game is at Amy Park and I'm pretty certain there is an AFL match like right across the road here for the Storm. I believe it's like Carlton and Hawthorn. But do Carlton play at Docklands or do they play at the MCG? I guess we're having a look now. I'm actually genuinely not too sure. But yeah, obviously, Carlton and Hawthorn. So Carlton obviously wanting to try to bounce back after losing to Richmond after just copious amount of shits were talked by the Navy Blues and their supporters. Just having a quick look. I didn't realise I've actually whacked it on this thing. So yeah, we're looking at the AFL now. So apologies. It's at the MCG. So yeah, the Storm might not have that best of a crowd. And I feel like it's going to be a talking point, but literally the MCG, Carlton and Hawthorn, probably two of the most, especially in the preseason where they've been talked about immensely. It's actually going on right now. So Carlton leading. So there you go. And there's also going to be a little bit of interest as well, looking away from this match, as Australia are playing, the Socceroos are playing a World Cup qualifier in a pretty crucial game as they take on Indonesia. So I guess I'll be having a couple of eyes on different things for this stream tonight. But hey, who knows? It's going to be quite an interesting situation. So you just never know, to be fair, in terms of this match. But we're still with a split evenly in the poll. Just looking at... But yeah, it's going to be very interesting, especially to see how all these different spots play out. So I don't even know what the crowd will be like for this game between the Storm and the Panthers. I think this could be... Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, to say the very least. Yeah, it's just, you don't really know. Like, it's going to be very interesting to see how this eventually, like... But you just never know, like... Can just figure it out. But just trying to get everything going through, but it's just you never know with this type of thing. But it's just... But yeah, it's basically just we're just pretty much now just waiting in preparation for this match, and just try to just keep it on going essentially. But that's going to be the main sort of crux of this play. But yeah, it's just you don't really think about it when it comes to these types of games. It's now about just less than 5 minutes away from the start of the match. It's the stream. begins to buffer ever so slightly. We'll try to just bring it back up to essentially live, but yeah, we're just I guess in a case of just keeping on trucking, which is going to be quite like interesting and seeing how this all plays out. But yeah, this is going to just look around and waiting for how this match does end up going. Okay, we're just now waiting for the start of the match so we can get underway. And pretty much we'll just be welcoming in both teams. And yeah, this is be a quite an exciting matchup. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how the crowd will go. Because, I mean, obviously, with the match across the street being Carlton and Hawthorn, just be a bit of an interesting one in fairness. But yeah, I mean, this is probably a huge chance here for the Melbourne Storm to assert themselves as the team going into the 2025 season. So, yeah. Yeah, so in complete fairness, like, who knows? So we're just now waiting now for the start of this matchup. We're only about a couple of minutes away. We'll just go quickly through the team list one final time before the start. So let's go through it. Ryan Papenhuyzen, starting fullback for the Melbourne Storm. Thomas Jenkins after Dylan Edwards and Dane Laurie being ruled out will start for the Panthers. Xavier Coates and Grant Anderson will be on the wing for Melbourne with Mick Meaney and Jack Howarth in the centres. Casey McLean and Brian To'o will be on the wing for Penrith with Paul Alamotti and Isaac Targo as such. Then you go to Cameron Munster and Jerome Hughes as the playmakers for the Storm. Wow, that crowd's really bad. Oh boy, the AFL boys are going to start laughing. But anyways, Jack Cole and Nathan Cleary are the playmakers for the Panthers. Stefano Atukamanu, Harry Grant and Josh King are the prop roles for the Storm, with Moses Leota, Mitch Kenny and Lindsay Smith for the Panthers. Sean Bloor, Elisa Katoa and Trent Lorio round out the back row for the Storm, with Scott Sorensen, Liam Martin and Isaiah Yeo doing the same for Penrith. Interchange consists of Tyron Wishart, Alec McDonald, Tui Kamikamika, Nelson Asava-Solomona for the Storm, Isaiah Papali'i, Liam Henry, Luke Garner and Blaze Talagi for the Panthers. And the injury reserve for the match is Kane Bradley for the Storm and Brad Schneider for the Penrith Panthers. So yeah, there you go. We're very much very close now to the end of the poll. Still quite split. It's still 50-50 as now the Penrith Panthers are starting to walk out. But one thing I've got to say is the crowd is not great. Like, this is a grand final rematch and there's not that many people. Like, I'm not expecting them to have like 90,000 whatever, but like you'd expect there to be like more people, like almost like a sellout, because it's like, you know, the grand final rematch, and I understand, of course, there's a big match over the street in the AFL, but just, man, it's just, what do the Storm have to do? Like, what do the Storm have to do to get a good crowd? There we go, the Panthers now out on the field. The 4-time champions against the team they knocked off in 2024 and the team that also stopped them back in 2020. This will be a very exciting matchup to say the very least. Getting ready now. The light show begins as, man, oh God, the crowd's bad. But here we go, the Melbourne Storm now set to come out. They're making the Panthers wait. Panthers in their pink jerseys for this match. It is a lovely outfit. But yeah, here we go. Just waiting now for the Storm to come in. The Storm haven't even left their tunnel yet, so they're going to make them wait their sweet time before they come out. So we're just going to end up finishing the poll, and the poll is going to finish dead even, so we're going to not know what ends up happening. But yeah, this will be very exciting to see how this match will end up playing off. And hang on, I believe there has been an extremely late change here for the Melbourne Storm. I don't know if that's just a wrong graphic thing, as Harry Grant now walks out the tunnel to lead the Melbourne Storm out for this grand final rematch. Yeah, it must have been a graphic cock-up, because it said Kane Bradley was starting at fullback. But yeah, the Melbourne Storm looking to do one better from last year. There's Pappenhausen. Got this Melbourne team stacked. It's fair play. But yeah, it's going to be one of those type of things where it's going to be quite interesting to see what does end up happening. So Jack Howarth, who's now playing again in this matchup, he's going to be playing up from round 1. He ended up with 2 try assists against the Eels in their big round 1. So the Melbourne Storm will be running from screen right, and the Panthers will receive first possession of the ball. Just a quick check. No game footage will be shown, unfortunately, because of copyright issues. Oh, he could actually straight up just see the camera, like the drone, just purposefully aiming away from the MCG. But here we go. For the grand final rematch, the whistle has sounded and we are underway for this match. It is a low-driven kick, only getting about 35 metres, and it's going to take a bounce. And here comes the first hit up, and that is the number 10 for the Penrith Panthers, which is, of course, Lindsay Smith. So it'll be brought down on the 10 here for the first tackle. They'll feed up more into the middle. As you see, Leota, I feel like he's going to be a very important person for this matchup. It's for the Panthers forward pack. Now trying to figure out what to do with the balls. Panthers now. Isaiah Yeo gets brought down on the 20 for the third tackle. Feed up the guts here. Liam Martin, one of the main players from their match in the grand final in 2024, will get to the 30 for the 4th tackle. And now it's the number 12 of... That's the number 22, actually, sorry, of Thomas Jenkins in his first game back at Penrith. Feeds the ball back to Cleary. Last tackle kick was back behind the 30, and it's taken on the 20 there by Xavier Coates. And he'll run straight up into a massive 4-man tackle. And I'm surprised why this hasn't loaded. There we go. But it hasn't loaded up at the scoreboard. Now the Storm are running up the guts and just trying to see where they can go. They're just shy of halfway now for the second tackle. That is actually Grant Anderson, the Butcher Boy. The Butcher Boy himself. And now the Panthers now trying to keep Storm in halfway, but they won't, as that is the number 4 there of Nick Meaney. And now the Storm spreading it out to their left. They'll get past the Panthers' 40-metre line. And Cary Grant now with the ball, tries to go up the guts. He gets an offload off to, I believe that is Cameron Munster. He will get brought down 35 metres away now for the last tackle. Kick towards the edge there from the last tackle kick, and it's taken by the Panthers number 4 of Paul Alamotti. But yeah, obviously the Panthers now trying to get through up the guts here, as this is Brian To'o getting his first carry for the game as we're now 2.5 gone. This Panthers only getting up as far as the 30 for the 4th tackle. A bit argy-bargy there. I think that's Elisa Katoa. So quite interesting here. This will be the last tackle kick by Cleary, who kicks it just before the 40, and it's taken by Pappenhausen inside of the 20. Pappenhausen feints the pass, but gets brought down just shy of the Storm 30 for the first tackle. Storm trying to get through up the guts here, as that's Nick Meaney, who gets brought down past the Storm 30 for the second tackle. So basically we're just now waiting for the Storm to play and just try to go up the guts. And it's a penalty there to the Storm. Grant Anderson wins it. Yeah, this is a pretty important game in seriousness now for... It's going to be one of those matches I feel referees are going to be quite under the microscope as they've been so far from the last year. So right on the 40, Jerome Hughes will take the penalty kick and it will be placed pretty deep into Panthers territory. So this will be the first real chance for the Melbourne Storm here. 40 out with a full set of 6 to play. So first tackle there for the Storm. Gets onto the side here as that's a Tokamanu getting brought down on the 30-metre line now for the second tackle. Pappenhausen now trying to find a gap. Just trying to find a way to get through up the guts here. And now the Storm feeding it out up through the left as that is number 11 of... But the Storm now 10 metres out, fourth tackle. Trying to see if they can get the first points on the board. Munster to go to Hughes. Almost a breakthrough there for the number 12. And here we go. Last tackle now for the Storm, which was Katoa. They'll feed it off to the right-hand side. Hughes, Pappenhausen, Anderson to the corner. And just like that, the Melbourne Storm capitalise on the opportunity. And it is the former Central Newcastle butcher of Grant Anderson who goes over for the first try. Yeah, that's just showing how good the play of the ball has been. And just straight away, Grant Anderson, I think he's scored in every game he's played so far for the Melbourne Storm. And he continues that trend once again. Fair play to him. Now I need him to score another one for those who have not seen. I'll just bring up in the mention here of this being the multi. Grant Anderson, we need to score 2 or more tries. Casey McLean to score, Xavier Coates to score, and the Storm to win 13 plus. So we're halfway through getting one of our legs straight up and we're only 5 minutes in. That's pretty good. That's pretty good to say at the very least. But yeah, it's just showing like the just good move there of Anderson. He could have dived for the corner, but he opts to step inside and just fends off Thomas Jenkins and the Storm, the Panthers winger there. But yeah, it's just that's what you want. That's what you want for a start. So now six and a bit now gone from this matchup. Now Nick Meaney, who was 8 from 10 in the game against Parramatta, will be going for his first conversion. The kick is up and he's drilled it down the middle. It is 6-0 now for the Melbourne Storm. 6.5 now gone in the opening matchup of the third round. There we go. Had to be slick with it there. I had to try to be quite slick, but yeah, that's just gotta. It's how you do it. It's how you do it. There's the hit up straight away here. Or Takamanu. And just an interesting stat that has just been brought up from this match. It is 21 from 23 of victories for the Melbourne Storm at Amy Park, which is just it's a pretty decent fortress to say at the very least there. So now Storm now just trying to see if they can try and break another line here as that is down to the 40 inside of their own half now for the third tackles. We're now 7 minutes gone from this matchup. Up the guts, just simple play there. Josh King just shy of halfway, brought down for the fourth tackle. Now the Storm spreading it out to the right. A bit of a flat ball there. The Storm is still going. Nick Meaney gets wrapped up, but he's still going. Pappenhausen. Grubber kicks down into the centre, and that is... Oh! Cole has grabbed it, And he'll get dragged back in the tackle, but a Panthers player has been completely and utterly battered. It's Cleary, and oh boy, he is not looking good. Been an absolute collision there between him and Jerome Hughes, and both are down. No, Cleary's knocked out. He was knocked out. He's completely and utterly dazed there. We have to have a look at that, but it was a monster collision. Let's have a look at what's happened. So it's a grubber kick up there. Oh, okay. So no, what has happened? I thought it was a head clash, but it's Nathan Cleary who was hit from behind. Grubber's is chasing, and Cleary's trying to go up for it, and Jerome Hughes falling into Jerome Hughes, and they've both landed very awkwardly, and they both hurt. So it's not. I thought it was a head clash, but this will be quite interesting here. Cleary's going for the ball, but I think Jerome Hughes was also going for it, so they both just sort of collided. Oh, hang on, this could be a situation where it's a HIA possibility here for Nathan Cleary. This could be an important moment in this match, and we're only 7.5 gone. Oh, okay, so when Cleary puts like level up in the air. Oh no, it is a HIA. His head smacks the ground. That. Yeah, and in terms of honesty, I think that's going to be Nathan Cleary done for this match, unfortunately, but wow. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. It's a really weird thing that's happened there. But yeah, it's looking pretty serious of Nathan Cleary should, unless he's able to pass it, which honestly does fair play, but it is a penalty to the Panthers for a tackle without the ball. And it's gone from bad to worse. Oh no, it has. What's happened? It's complete another chaos. The Storm have battered the penalty kick back in play. It then bounced backwards, then gone forward. Panthers have said they've recovered it, and they're saying it is a Panthers knock-on. And the captain's challenging it immediately because, like, let's have a look. So let's have a look at what happened here. The Panthers go for the penalty kick. Pappenhausen is on the touchline. Does he stay in play? His feet are in bounds. He leaps and he bats it back in backwards, but then it bounces forward, which then becomes a massive race for the both teams to try to get possession of the ball. Oh, but they're all offside. Nearly all the Storm players are offside. So are they the ones who go for it? Oh, this actually could be a penalty here. So yeah, it was a double knock on, but the Storm knocked on first, so it is a successful captain's challenge here by the Penrith Panthers. So yeah, that's there we go. That is the big news from this game. 8 minutes gone. It is a Category 1 HIA by the Penrith Panthers halfback, Nathan Cleary. Cleary is out. And think about this. No Dylan Edwards, no Dane Laurie. So who would come into the playmakers now for the Panthers to play in at halfback? It'd be Schneider, wouldn't they? They should be able to like bring in Schneider, wouldn't they? Like they'd have to, as an injury replacement. But yeah, this is a very interesting situation to say the very least. So ruled out to concussion here. Now Penrith, if this match was going to be harder, I'll try that again. If this match is going to be hard for Penrith before this, it's now going to be even harder. But they're on the third tackle here, as that is Mitch Kenny, I believe, who gets up the guts here. 15 out, fourth tackle for the Panthers. Trying to find something as Jack Cole gets brought down 10 metres out on the right-hand side. The Storm now up the guts to the number 18 as Talagi. The ball has gone up and it's taken well there by the Storm. There's Nick Meaney who brings it down inside of the 10 here. And now Grant Anderson gets brought down as the rain starts to pour in Melbourne, which will make the match even more chaotic than it already is. But now it's going to be, we're seeing a pretty defensive set now here from the Panthers. Storm haven't been past their 30 for the fourth tackle here. She is trying to find a gap. It'll get brought down just past the 30 again, and it's going to be a penalty to the Storm. Leota holding on to Jerome Hughes' leg, just not allowing him to get up. But yeah, there we go. It was a leg pull, and this will be a chance now for the Storm to increase their lead. So the kick's going into touch here as we're just now waiting for where the ball is going to be placed. And it's going to be the first tackle taken 40 metres away from the try line now. The Storm now trying to extend their lead. For those who have just joined and don't know what has just happened, a major collision between Jerome Hughes and Nathan Cleary brought Nathan Cleary level, horizontal, and not hitting his head on the ground. He's been ruled as a Category 1 HIA. He is out for this matchup. So what can you say? It's a very, very chaotic start to the match. Jerome Hughes now with the ball. Pappenhausen trying to feed the Storm now. They're trying to go down the line. It's the number 3, Jack Howarth, who's now 10 metres out from the try line on the far right-hand side. Pappenhausen. It's a kick over the top. It's a brilliant chase. Elisa Katoa. That is just brilliant play. And this is now 10 points to the Storm. This is not going to be good for Panthers now. They had how many players ruled out? They had Dylan Edwards ruled out during the week. They had Dane Laurie ruled out yesterday. Actually today, sorry. No, he got ruled out today. Then you had Nathan Cleary taken out for the Category 1 HIA. Brilliant kick over the top by Munster. Elisa Katoa falls to him. Almost got away from him there, but Katoa was able to bring it in. And that's 10-0 to the Melbourne Storm with a kick to come. But man, oh man, this could be a very interesting situation here for the Storm. Just trying to check to see. I didn't have Katoa. No, I had Coates. So yeah, just had to check there because I did have the Molsey up in there. And that is Elisa Katoa's 5th try against Penrith, and he's only scored 30 in his career. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to say at the very least. But yeah, there you go, Elisa Katoa getting onto the try. To be fair, generally him grabbing it's probably at the last possible moment here. And here's the kicking attempt here by Nick Meaney to take it to a 12-point lead. And he converts it just like that. But yeah, that's it's going to be interesting to see now how this match does end up developing. This is it's going to be one of those games, unfortunately, the way I see it. It's just not looking good, but there we go. 12.5 gone. 12-0 to the Storm. Oh, big hit up there. And honestly, there needs to be a bit of ticker shown by the Panthers here. It's a bit of argy-bargy here. This is where I think Penrith need to be aggressive. They need to do something. Their halfback's just been knocked out of the match. They need something. As that's now the number 13 for the Storm. Now going off to the left. This is the number 3 here, Jack Howarth. Just trying to find a way to get into the match. Now Storm just about get past halfway now for the final tackle. And it's a high bomb here. The Storm have lost it, But is that a tackle without the ball? They're not going to rule on it. So, yep, it is the number 22 of Thomas Jenkins with the ball. And the Panthers regain possession. Now, To'o gets brought down just shy of the 30 for the first tackle as Penrith just need to try and go up the guts. But here we go. Here's a penalty here for Penrith. So this could be a chance here to get them into deep positioning, which would only be the second time this early this match, and this we're only in like 14 minutes in. A second. Oh, this is not good. This is the second time that the Penrith Panthers have had a penalty kick, and it's the second time it's been batted back into play as Pappenhausen, this time it bounces backwards and the Storm just get the ball. This has just been a horror start for the Panthers. And Mitch Kenny now being backed down there by Stefano Watakamanu. Now third tackle for the Storm halfway. And it's a set restart as well. Everything is just going against Penrith this match. It is completely ridiculous. And it's another set restart now for the Storm. Here we go. First tackle, 25 out now for the Storm. They're passing it out. Hughes trying to get it out to Anderson. That's knocked forward. And he's been taken out anyways. So very good there for Penrith. But man, this is just showing of how much the rugby league gods are kind of saying, yeah, screw you, actually, Penrith. This will certainly be one of those games. So scrum feed now for this match as the Penrith Panthers now on their 20 as they try to restore some order into this game because they've just been they've been outdone these beginning 16 minutes. Liam Martin goes up the guts on the right hand side, and there we go. It's a penalty to the Panthers. They had some inside the 10 metres penalty, so this will be a chance for the Penrith. Now, this is their third penalty kick, and both of them have been batted back into play. And there we go. They finally kick it into touch, and they'll get the ball on halfway for the first tackle. For those who have not seen what has happened, Nathan Cleary's been ruled out for a HIA. It was about 10 minutes into the game. And, it was a big collision. And just showing in terms of the stats, 335 run metres for Melbourne, 162 for Penrith. Now, second tackle now for the Storm. They're 40 metres away from the try line. They're going to spread it up the middle and try to figure out where they can do here. As Nelson Asafa-Solomona looking set to come back in after serving his 5-match suspension. But now the Panthers going down the left-hand side is McLean. Gets wrapped up inside of the 10 now. Last tackle for the Panthers. They give it onto Talagi. High kick over the air onto the right-hand side. And it's to the man you'd most trust under the high ball in Xavier Coates. But here we go now. You've got Pappenhausen now with the ball as he tries to find some ticker for this match as we try to go up the guts here. This is going to be an interesting way to see how the Storm respond to this. They're going to go for a 40-20 here. They're back behind the 40. The ball does bounce past Jenkins. It's gone back about 20 metres to the 10. And there's just a massive chase there of Storm players. And Jenkins gets wrapped up on the 20 for the first tackle. Now feeds the ball to To'o, who gets brought down just shy of the 30 for the second tackle. Spread it out now to the right-hand side. Now the Panthers been quite quick in the play here. They're down to the 40 inside of the Storm's half. Don't know what's happening there for Penrith. Their last tackle kick high up in the air. Trying to... Oh! Coach has been taken out there, trying to go for the ball, and it's going to be a penalty to the Storm. As we're now 19 minutes into this match, still 12 points to 0. Deep kick into touch, and the ball will be placed now on the Storm 40. The Storm now just trying to see if they can break them into the side here, as Penrith need to settle down because they've just been a bit restless so far this game. And it's another set restart now for the Storm. As they're now 40 metres away from the try line. So just waiting now. The Storm going down the right-hand side again. Meaney fends off a tackle. Gives it off to Grant. Now the Storm trying to go up the guts. Going to get another offload? No, they won't. Second tackle now 20 metres away from the try line. And it's now also a penalty to the Storm. Honestly, keep going. Don't you dare go for the 2. Because honestly, there's like no real point. Why is Harry Grant going for the 2? Grant's going for the 2. That is that's interesting. That is actually a very interesting call there. Completely honestly, don't know really why, because you've been really on top of them. You could just really just keep on going. But yeah, it's just one of those games where it's just not going well at all. Nathan Cleary there. It's Ivan's down. Is that Ivan? No, he's getting... Oh, hang on. Nathan Cleary is getting his shoulder bandaged. Now, he did get ruled out for a HIA, but could there be a possibility that this genuinely could be he's redone his shoulder? Because if that's the case, then this is even worse case scenario for the Panthers. Nick Meaney now with a kick to make it 14-0, and he takes it, and it has just been a perfect 20 minutes for the Melbourne Storm. Now 14-0 up. But yeah, this is going to be... It's just... you can't really know what's going to happen here. There goes a run up the guts here as the Storm just keep on going. To be fair, I thought it was having bandage wrapped up, which in fairness, it could just be that in general, because he obviously had... I think he had shoulder surgery late as time has stopped. Storm sending it wide to the left, and they're getting a play going. Pappenhausen still with it. Gives it off to Munster. Munster just trying to find his way. They're spreading it out to the right, but they get brought down now. 25 away now for the third tackle. Now Josh King gets brought in just shy of the 40 for the fourth tackle. Now the Storm's right-hand side keeps going, but Meaney gets wrapped up on McLean in a very good tackle. It's the first time they've stomped that right-hand attack. Hume's now with a high bomb for the last tackle. Pressure on Jenkins, but he takes it well. He gets brought down inside of the 30 for the first tackle for Penrith. No, just getting now through. It's Targo. Hasn't really gotten much of the ball from recollection so far in this matchup. Now the Storm are just going to try to keep him going. But to be fair, Penrith are making meters. They're now past halfway now for the fourth tackle, as we've now got 18 minutes remaining in this first half. And it's a set restart now. So this is could be a chance here for the Panthers to get points on the board. Jenkins was brought down 35 away from the try line. Now the Panthers are spreading it now to the left-hand side. Massive offload has dropped back about 10 metres. It's gone to Jenkins. Oh, there's a bit of argy-bargy here between Grant and Isaiah Yeo. But doesn't stop the play. Still going here. From the second tackle. And that's the number 18 there. Oh, and the ball's popped out. And it's going to be an incorrect play of the ball by the Panthers. And that's just how it's been, unfortunately, for them. So, Harry Grant's gone for the tackle. And he's just completely bumped into Yeo. And it's just a jockeying player on the tackle. And there's a little bit of just a bit pushing and shoving, nothing too much. Nothing too much in it, as I've just seen now in terms of the Australia-Indonesia match, if people are paying attention to that. In very quick succession, Australia now 2-0 up in the game. They got Martin Boyle scored a penalty in the 18th minute, and they've just scored again 2 minutes later. So, good sign so far there for the Socceroos. As the second one, it was Vela-Pillay. Now, on the 30 now for the Storm. Now just trying to get up the guts here at the moment, but they just can't get it up at the moment. As Penrith's defence have actually been quite alright for the last little bit. It's been the set restarts and the penalties which have been killing them so far this first half. Now the Storm once again trying to go up the guts. They brought down 45 away from the try line now. Last tackle to the Storm. High boot up in the air. And it's going to be a big chase. And it's ball's been bobbled and Jenkins has picked it up. He feeds it off to To'o. To'o trying to find space. It'll get brought down on the 30 for what is the 0 tackle. It'll be a knock on by the Storm. But yeah, honestly, I feel like if you keep it 14-0 to the as a gap for the Panthers, I think this would be pretty successful for them, especially like for the last 20 minutes. Going into the break, I mean, if they can score, that'd be even better. Isaiah Yeo now getting brought down just shy of halfway now for the third tackle. Trying to go up the guts. Fourth tackle now for the Storm. Oh, and the ball's completely flown up there. It's play on. Not a set restart here, so the Panthers still have the ball. Martin now has it. They're trying to find a gap. It'll get brought down on the Storm's 40 now for the last tackles. We've got 15 minutes remaining in this first half. And it's a high boot, and once again, they keep kicking it to Xavier Coates, who's probably the best player to catch the ball under the pressure. So I don't understand why they keep kicking it to him. It's just one of those things which for me doesn't really make that much sense. As a substitute here for the Panthers, Moses Leota has come off for the number 16 of Liam Henry. And it's an aimed kick for 40-20, but is actually gone out on the full. So the Panthers now have a bit of a decent bit of pressure here. And now chance here now for the Storm. Sorry if I just did get quite distracted. But there we go. Now 25 out from the first tackle. Panthers feeding it off to the left-hand side. They're just trying to figure out their way to get straight through and up the guts here. Storm still going. They're spreading it out to the right. Jenkins, here we go. Down against the pressure. And just like that, Paul Alamotti scores for Penrith. Despite everything that has happened to him this match, they are now gotten their first try and are now set to potentially cut the deficit down to 8. And honestly, with the amount of pressure and how good the opening 20 minutes had been for Melbourne, they just hadn't really put it into more points. But there we go, Penrith with enough pressure finally going over as Paul Alamotti gets the try. But there you go, much needed score there for the Panthers. Now 14-4 with a kick to come. There we go, spreading it now. It was just good spreading of like going down the line, and it was much needed there for the Panthers. They really needed that, and they got it. Much needed result there. So now the Panthers. Now here is the conversion attempt. It is actually Paul Alamotti who will be set to convert his own try. This to make it an 8-point game. And there could be a possibility if Penrith score again, the deficit could just be 2. And after this half is amazing. Here's the kick now from Alamotti. This to make it 14-6 with 11 minutes 40 remaining in the match. And he's tried to kick it wide to swing, but it was too much. It'll remain 14-4. But still, Penrith finally getting over the line. It's just what you need, though. Now, I reckon this if it goes into the sheds like this, I actually reckon it's a pretty positive result for Penrith. But I mean, I think the Storm, if they want to have the momentum going into the sheds, I think they need to score again. And make it sort of like a 20-4, then it's like, okay, we can switch on. There's the hot boots there by Pappenhausen to restart the game. It's a D. Ooh. Very close there. Talaki almost running out, trying to catch the ball. Big hit on Liam Henry inside of the 10 for the first tackle. And here's a run, potentially. Liam Martin gets brought down to the 30. The Panthers are showing signs of life. And, oh no. Oh, is Liam Martin now hurt? Is he okay? Is that not a hip drop? He's grabbed immediately at his ankle as the Storm players dragged him in. Is that not a hip drop? He's taken his legs out. I think this could be something here. I think Munster could be in trouble. This could be interesting. Is Munster in the bin, or is it what's happened? He's on report, but it is not it's not a sin bin. But is that not a hip drop? But anyways, it's going to be penalty to Penrith, and this could get very interesting. Halfway now is the full set here for Penrith. Just under 11 minutes now remaining in this matchup. It's first half. Saved myself there. But yeah, we're just waiting now to see what does end up happening here. And it's a run there by Schneider, getting 40 away from the try line now. The Storm trying to hold on for this resurgence Penrith side as Targo gets brought down 30 away from the try line. The third tackle. Now Yo to Cole. Storm are holding on. The Penrith are putting on the pressure. 20 out, fourth tackle. They're trying to get anything going. Isaiah Yeo gets an offload off. They're still going. Schneider now to Cole. Cole trying to dive for the line. He's actually 10 metres away. Whoops. Anyway, last tackle here for the Panthers. They're going to go to the right-hand side. Grab a kick by Jenkins. Trying to be jockeyed, but Pappenhausen has had to bat it out, and it's going to be a golden line dropout for the Storm. The Panthers are showing signs of life. And the crowd is bigging up. I believe Nelson Asofa Solomon has come on the field. Yes, he has. As there's been, I believe, another goal. Has there? I just saw it was flashing in the match between Australia and Indonesia. And the goal line dropout kick has not gone 10 metres. It'll be Panthers ball. But I don't think it's even a penalty. It's just a play of the ball. So, yeah. So, there you go. So, here we go. Full set of 6. 9 minutes remaining in this half. Can the Panthers once again somehow get a try? Cole, it's a set restart as well now for the Panthers. Another set restart again for a ruck infringement. So can Penrith find something? Up the guts here, Liam Henry. 5 metres short of the line here for the first tackle. The Storm trying to hold on. Penrith. Talaki, what a tackle. Brilliant tackle there. Well, good legal one there by Katella. And now flinging it out to the middle. Yo. I swear Yo just feigned to do a grubber then. Because if he did, that would have been a mental thing. Third tackle now, 10 metres out. The Panthers trying to find some gap. As Asofa Solomon gets the tackle here. Fourth tackle. Trying to find up the middle. Cole almost got taken out. To Jenkins. To Targo. And it's McLean. No, it's not. It's Paul Alamotti. And I've messed up the clip. And just like that, Alamotti has now got 2. And it's now 14-8. I'm just going to try. I'm gonna for the clip. I'm gonna go backwards and fix it. So bear with me for a second. Down the line. I'm going. Just bear with me. But yeah, there we go. 14-8 with a kick to come. And tackled by Asofa Solomon. They're trying to feed it now to the right-hand side. Cole almost gets bumped off. To Schneider. To Targo. He's going to give it to Alamotti and he gets a double. What is happening? There you go. That's how you get the clip. An unbelievable turn of events. Penrith were gone in the first 20 minutes and now they've just one score away. What is happening? There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you fake. Yes, that clip will look really good. I don't know why I've done it. I mean, to be fair, there's like... I feel sorry for the one bloke who's actually watching. But unbelievable. It's just... Penrith were gone. And now Alamotti... I think he might have lost that there. But here we go. Here is the conversion attempt now from the sideline. Alamotti to make it a 4-point game. Which, if you told me this like 20 minutes ago, I would not believe you. Here we go. And this is the kick from the sideline. And it's come back around and it's good. And Penrith, with 6 minutes to go, are 4 points behind. Honestly, there generally could be the discussion point where Penrith take the lead here. I generally think Penrith could take the lead going into the half. It's now 3-0 to Australia. I've just seen it's another goal. I don't know who scored it. Not yet. And now Penrith now having a new bit of tenacity. And it's a big hit. Oh, hang on. Interesting situation here is Nick Meaney, bit of head cuts, bit of uppers. What's happened here? Nelson Solomona has just head knocked his own player of Nick Meaney. Oh, just a head clash, and yeah, you're not winning that against Nas. Nah, Zach, don't feel sorry for me. You must be my good luck charm. I turned off KO in disgust, but since checking into my favourite NRL commentator, momentum has swung. Yeah, that's it's just how it's been. But like, I can't believe it because you know this is why this is happening, is because the Storm went for the 2 after being 12-0 up. But this is just, it's unbelievable, this is. And here we go. It's from the ball stopping here now. Just under 6 remaining. It's paused on the 3rd tackle here. Nick Meaney is being taken off the field, so it's a possibility his night might be done after that collision with Nelson Solomona. Just a massive head-on-head, and just obviously Sofa Solomona was going to win that. But just like not shocking at all. But here we go. Bellamy's bust. Mate, Bellamy is going to unleash an ultimate spray on the Storm. Kamika's now on the field now for Utakamanu. Penrith now. This is Jenkins just shy of halfway, and this will be the last tackle for the Panthers. Wishart's now on for Meaney, and honestly I think Wishart will probably be playing for the rest of the match. Xavier Coates now getting the ball from the kick, and it'll get brought down inside of the 30 for the first tackle. So now we're into the final 5 minutes. Honestly, the momentum's with Penrith. And it's so unbelievable to think about because it just shouldn't be. The amount of players have had ruled out in the lead up to this match, then Cleary getting taken out through a HIA, and now Sofa Solomona gets brought down. 4th tackle in the 40, and it's a lost ball, and Liam Henry bigging himself up, going after Sofa Solomona after the incorrect play of the ball. Now 40 metres away from the try line here. A chance now for Penrith to possibly somehow even take the lead in going into half time. This has been a complete capitulation if this does end up happening after the Melbourne Storm because, man, this is mental. So there we go. Nick Meaney has been graded as a Category 2, which means he will be looked at in the tunnel. That should be a penalty to the Panthers. There we go. And the Storm are shooting themselves in the foot here. It's what's been killing them so far. There's Alec McDonald giving away the penalty there. So 30 out from the try line. The Storm are Penrith are going to go for the tap here and just try to go up the guts. Now trying to go to the right-hand side here is Penrith now trying to find something. They're going to go to the right-hand side again. Martin was given a bit of an awkward ball. Still going here. Jenkins to Cole. Henry now gets brought down 20 away from the try line now. Third tackle with 3 minutes remaining now in the first half. Oh, was that an awkward pass? Still going here. Jenkins trying to find a gap. He gets brought down 10 metres out now. Fourth tackle for the Panthers. They feint going down to the right. It's a grubber kick short. Is that play the ball? No, it's not. Liam Henry with a grubber kick. That is nuts. Okay, Yo's brought down 10 metres out. Last tackle for the Panthers. They'll go to the left. Cole with the grubber kick. There's a lot of chases, and it has to get batted away by Anderson. And the Storm will have to do a goal line dropout. It is bucketing down in Melbourne. There you go, Henry. Forward should grub him more. Yeah, Jack Cole has definitely stepped up this game. Pappenhausen now for the goal line. Dropout going for the short kick. It will make the 10. It's batted backwards, and Penrith will get it. And there's a run there by Liam Henry. Trying to rake the ball out. Somerset almost raked that. And Panthers get the ball. This will be a set restart. It'll be a 7-tackle set, I believe. This Liam Henry and Asofa Solomona, what are the story now? 5 metres out. Second tackle for the Panthers. They'll go to the right. Martin gets brought down just short now. Third tackle. Minute 40 remaining in the half. They'll fling it off to the left-hand side. And they'll just take the tackle there, and it's pretty good. 15 out now for the Storm. Panthers now trying to cut the guts. Oh, it's very close. Very close opportunity there. 5 metres out. Last tackle for Penrith. A minute 20 remaining in the half. Cole with a crossfield kick. And it's taken well. And now Wishart, I believe no, it's not Wishart, it's Jack Howarth who takes the ball. And man, they really needed to suppress that, because it's just, this attack has been nuts. And now Pappenhausen with the ball as we're entering the final minute of the half, gets brought down for the third tackle on their 30. Munster gets brought up the guts, and he'll get brought down just shy of the 40. Solomona, Hughes, Howarth trying to get the ball. He gets wrapped up on halfway now for the last tackle. I think Penrith may get like 1 or 2 tackles here. Storm is still going with the ball, trying to get an offload off. Is that knock on? And it was played by a Penrith player, so the Storm will get the ball on halfway. They're trying to set the scrum. They've got 9 seconds. So here we go. What do the Storm do? And it's a forward pass by Melbourne, and there we go. It's half time. 14-0 up the Storm were after everything, and now it is still close as Penrith have somehow amounted a comeback. I genuinely cannot believe Penrith are actually still in this. And to be fair, they've got the momentum now. It's actually ridiculous to think. That's just unbelievable. I can't imagine it. I cannot believe it. I'm nuts. It's nuts. But yeah, I just cannot believe that. I'm just in shock. Just an absolute shock. You're just going to have a look at some of the stats here because I feel this is going to be quite interesting to have a look at because it's been a very chaotic matchup. Yeah, the Penrith bench has been very important here. So just having a look, completion rate's actually in favour of Penrith here. Run meters, this was nuts. I think the Storm in the early stages were genuinely ahead by like nearly 200, and now it's the Panthers, just showing how important the second 20 of the first half was for the Panthers. Now leading by about 50 meters. More passes, more dummy passes, more kicking meters. In terms of the stats, the Panthers are doing actually a lot more effective defense. I mean, they've had in the first 20, but yeah, it's just seeing that the Storm are actually kind of falling behind in the stats here, which is kind of nuts. You should at least bring back the slushy for halftime. I would, but I'm not at home at the moment, so I have to do it. I'll have to do it at some point for one of the streams. I'm just stunned. I'm really just utterly stunned at this matchup. Yeah, this is just like I don't know what to say. I really just this is. But yeah, I definitely need to bring something like that back for the halftime at least. Like just something. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I just don't really know what to think. Yeah, it's just something I just cannot like absolutely fathom at all. Like, it's just. It's just. I don't know. Just in. I'm just. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. It's just mental. Dude, sorry for. I'm just working on something quickly in the background, but yeah, it's just we need something. just don't even know how do people just do it. It's unbelievable. It's like, how are they ahead? Genuinely, how are they ahead? The Storm, because they've actually been playing like quite badly this game. It's just, you can't think of it. It's just baffling. So in terms of like looking at this this multi that we currently have, we've only got like one half of it done because we've had Grant Anderson score at least one. McLean hasn't scored. Coates hasn't scored. And Storm 13 plus. Well, currently at the moment, it looks like Penrith are more likely to win. So. But yeah. Just, I don't know. I just... Shocked. It's just... To show us that we keep going for this through the halftime. I need something to play like halftime, because I'm very boring when the footy's not actually happening, and I'm barely tolerable when it's happening. But yeah, it's just cannot believe it. Like it's just unbelievable. Oh my god. There's just been a confirmation about the head knock with Nick Meaney at South Solomona, which Nick Meaney was sent off for a HIA. Actually, I'll keep it like this. Nick Meaney has... What's happened here? Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, sorry. So we know about Nick Meaney and the head collision that he had with Nelson at South Solomona. Nick Meaney's fractured his jaw, so he's gone. He's gone for the remainder of the match. That is, wow. That's unbelievable. Like, what do you do there? Like, that's just... I have no clue. No clue at all. I'll certainly just repeated the same ad like 4 times as well. This has been a very confusing match, to say the very least. Like, I don't know. Halftime is when... Oh my god, what the... They've literally played the same ad about 4 times. My God, and it's like... That's absolutely mental. Like 6 times. They've played this same Telstra ad genuinely like 6 times. But yeah, it's just... Can't believe it. Just not really going to know what's going to be happening here, but yeah, it's just... I generally think that, yeah, obviously... It's pretty much whoever scores first is going to get the momentum because, we've just seen, the Storm, if they score, they'll probably go up to like 8 or 10 points. But if the Panthers win, they'll go to... They can just, take the lead essentially or tie it at the bare minimum, so... Yeah, it's unfathomable. They're playing the Telstra ad again. They've generally spammed this Telstra ad about 5 or 6 times. Oh my God, no. Good, they've cut it off. It's just, I don't know. It's just... This is unbelievable. Anyways, we're here now, ready for the second half.